Hello GCA, this is your first video for the review for your Algebra 1 EOC, and we will be starting with reporting category number 1. There are 5 total, and today we'll be covering number and algebraic methods. So for the first problem, let's look at TEK 8.10a. You are going to be able to add and subtract polynomials of degree 1. So keep in mind that these are review questions from release STAAR exams. So let's start with number 2. Which expression is equivalent to the following? To 2x squared plus the quantity 4x minus 6x squared plus 9 minus the quantity 6x plus 3. So what we have to do here is basically simplify. So if I start, I'm going to bring down my 2x squared. There is a positive 1 in front of that parenthesis, so if I multiply that by the inside, nothing will change. So just bring down the 4x minus 6x squared. Bring down the plus 9, but for this set of parentheses we have to distribute a negative 1. Don't forget that, and we are going to distribute that into everything inside the parenthesis. So negative 1 times 6x is negative 6x. Negative 1 times 3 is negative 3. All we have to do now is combine like terms, and we are done. 2x squared minus 6x squared is negative 4x squared. 4x minus 6x is negative 2x. 9 minus 3 is positive 6. So based off of the answer choices, our answer is G. Go ahead and try the following question. It is covering the same TEK. Go ahead and pause the video, and then the answer will appear shortly. This question is covering TEK 8.10b, where we're going to multiply polynomials of degree 1 and degree 2. So question number 54. The diagram shows the floor plan of a storage facility. All dimensions are given in feet. Notice that the length is equal to 5x plus 4, and the width is 4x minus 4. Which expression represents the area of the storage facility in square feet? So keep in mind that the area is equal to the length times the width. So area will be equal to length times width. So all we have to do here is apply the distributive property, or FOIL. So 5x times 4x is 20x squared. 5x times negative 4 is negative 20x. 4 times 4x is 16x. And 4 times negative 4 is negative 16. The final step is to combine your like terms, and the area will be equal to 20x squared minus 4x minus 16, making our final answer G. Go ahead and try the following, pause the video, and then the answer will show momentarily. The next question covers the TEK 8.10d, where you will rewrite polynomial expression of degree 1 and degree 2 in equivalent forms using the distributive property. So which expression is equivalent? So there's 2 ways of doing this problem. One way is to factor out the expression and then picking the correct answer choice, or you can go ahead and work backwards and distribute your answer choices, and the correct answer will be the one that gives you the original expression. So whatever is easiest for you, do it that way. If I look at the expression, I know that the greatest common factor, or the GCF, for this problem is 21d, and that's because 21 goes evenly, or divides evenly, into 210 and negative 63. And also this term has a d squared, in other words d times d, so 2 d's. This term has a d, so therefore we can factor out a 21d from both of these 2 terms. So 210 d squared divided by 21d is 10d. Negative 63d divided by 21d gives us negative 3. So if I look at my answer choices, the correct answer here is F. Go ahead and try the following problem, pause your video, and the answer will be on momentarily. Go ahead and try the follow again. Which expression is equivalent to the following? Pick your correct answer. For 8.10e, you will factor, if possible, trinomials with the real factors in the form ax squared plus bx plus c, including perfect square trinomials of degree 2. So for the following question, which function is equivalent to g of x? And g of x is equal to x squared plus 15x minus 54. And if you look at the answer choices, we basically have to factor out g of x. Remember, if you forget how to factor g of x, you can always use your answer choices and work backwards. Apply the distributive property, and the correct answer is the one that gives you g of x. So knowing that, let's go ahead and factor. This times this should multiply to give me x squared, so obviously x times x. This times this should multiply to give me negative 54. Factors of 54 are 154, 227, 318, 6, and 9. So remember, we have to pick the two factors that can multiply to give us negative 54. All of these do. Since it's negative 54, one of them will have to be positive, the other will have to be negative. Keep that in mind. Also, it has to add up to give us our middle term, which is positive 15. So the only two that can make a positive 15, or that can possibly add up to a 15, is the 318 and the 6 and the 9. Let's start with 6 and 9 first. So instead of distributing the whole problem, I'm going to check my middle terms. 9 times x is 9x. 6 times x is 6x. 9x and 6x should add up to give us positive 15x. So that would be positive 9x, positive 6x. But 9 times 6 gives us positive 54. We want negative 54. Therefore, this is not correct. And switching the order, 9 and 6 does not make sense because these two are the same. So we will get the exact same answer. So now we have to try 3 and 18. If I try my middle terms, 3 times x is 3x. X times 18 is 18x. These two should add up to give me a positive 15. That is possible with a positive 18 and a negative 3. Don't forget to check. Negative 3 times 18 is negative 54. That's what you want. Therefore, our correct answer is G. And again, if you forget how to factor, distribute the answer choices, and the one that gives you g of x would be the correct answer. Now let's go ahead and try this question since it has a leading coefficient bigger than 1. So which expression is equivalent to 24x squared minus 22x plus 5? This times this should multiply to give me 24x squared. Factors of 24 are 124, 212, 38, 46. So notice that we have 4 options for 24x squared. To decrease our choices, let me look at the answer choices here. So notice that they only use 12x and 2x, or 8x and 3x. So therefore, these two are not an option. So let me go ahead and try 3x and 8x first. These last two should multiply to give us 5. Our only options are 1 and 5. Let me try my middle terms. 3x times x is 3x. 8x times 5 is 40x. Notice that 40x and 3x cannot add up to give you a negative 22x. Therefore, this is incorrect. So let me switch the order. Let me check out my middle terms again. 15x and 8x cannot make a negative 22x. Therefore, this is also incorrect. Since 1 and 5 is our only option, these have to stay. So we're going to have to go ahead and change these two. So since that didn't work, we know our correct answer cannot be B or D. So now I'm going to try 2x and 12x. Let me try my middle terms. 2x times 5 is 10x. 12x times 1 is 12x. Can these add up to give us a negative 22x? And yes, they can. They both have to be negative. Don't forget to check. Negative 5 times negative 1 is positive 5. That is what you want. Therefore, our correct answer is C. For 8.10f, we're going to decide if a binomial can be written as the difference of two squares and if possible, factor. I see the difference, which is good. Well, first of all, the question, which expression is a factor of 36x squared minus 49? So let's say we have a difference of squares. We have a subtraction, which we do have a difference. Square root of 36x squared is 6x. Square root of 49 is 7. So yes, we do have a difference of two squares. So again, the square root of 36x squared is 6x. The square root of 49 is 7. 1 plus, 1 minus. And if you want to check, you would distribute. And it should give you back the binomial you started out with. So the answer here is D. The following TEK, 8.11b, is simplifying numeric and algebraic expressions using the laws of exponents, including integral and rational exponents. So for this question, which expression is equivalent to the following for all values of m, p, and v where the expression is defined? So in other words, you have to simplify using the laws of exponents. The coefficients, you actually divide those. 45 divided by 15 is 3. I'm going to bring down my m. When you do m to the negative 6 power divided by m to the negative 2 power, you subtract those exponents. So negative 6 minus negative 2 gives us negative 4. Now the p's. When you divide p over 2, when you divide p squared over p to the 8th, you again apply the quotient rule. And 2 minus 8 is negative 6. When you do the v, 12 minus negative 4, this turns into a plus, gives you 16. We are not finished because I see negative exponents, so we are going to make those positive by sending those to the bottom. And the 3 and the v to the 16th power stay in the numerator. Making our final answer B. Go ahead and try the following problem. Go ahead and try the following. For 8.12a, we are going to decide whether relations represented verbally, tabularly, graphically, or symbolically define a function. So for this question, which table represents y as a function of x? So remember, in order for y to be a function of x, each x has to be paired with exactly one y. In other words, the x cannot repeat. As you can see, this x is paired with two different y's, so not a function. This x is paired with two y's, not a function. This x is paired with four y's, not a function, making our answer G. Try the following question. 8.12b, we are going to evaluate functions expressed in function notation, given one or more elements in their domain. So for question number 20, given f of x, what is the value of f of 16? And remember, for this one, we can type this in the calculator and get an answer, or let's simplify without a calculator. Go ahead and try the following question. Type it in.